The Menendez brothers.
I don't know what their whole story was. I never followed that.
Same. I didn't really follow it until now, and I understand what happened. So they killed their parents, and they admit that they killed their parents. At first, they didn't. They like tried to hide that they did, but once people found out, they're like, "Yeah, we did it." And they were like, and they were like, they're like, they could have found out that night, but they didn't do it. They were like, the police didn't do a proper search on us. Like, they're like, the guns were in the car, the bullet shells were in the car. There was like so many things. They like we had gun residue still on our hands. It was kind of ridiculous that they didn't like search us. And they didn't really start paying attention to them until they started like spending money and but they had inherited a lot of money. So they go to trial, and it comes out, mind you, this is like 1989. And
wait, who were they though?
Oh, their parents they're from Cuba, right? Yeah, they're from Cuba, and their parents like left during the revolution and didn't have any money, but like rebuilt their lives in America and had a lot of money. I think they dad worked in the entertainment industry or something like that. And yeah, some like entertainment industry in various parts, music and movies and stuff like that. So they had a lot of money. And dad, very controlling, and then you find out later he is molesting and raping them. Like molesting both of them when they're kids, and then you find out that the younger brother is still being raped by their father well into his like he's 19. And so the older brother, like the molesting stopped after like a couple of years, and so he didn't know that his younger brother was still being molested, like being raped. So he thought that it had stopped, and then when his brother told him, basically his brother told him because he was like at his wit's end because he wanted to go to college and he was going to go to Stanford so he can get away from family. But his dad was like, "No, you're going to UCLA. You're staying close to home." And he was like, I don't want to be like victimized by my father anymore. So he tells his brother like, "Hey, this is still going on. I don't know what to do." And then his older brother was like, "We have to kill them." He was like, "We have to kill them. They're not going to let us go." And so they devise a plan, and they confront their dad and was like, "Why are you still doing this? And like this has to stop." And the mom goes, and then like they also confront mom like, like this is going on. She's like, "You think I'm stupid?" She's like, "I know this has been going on this entire time." And that for the brother, he was just, and then also the younger brother was so whipped, the dad told him to go upstairs, and he did. He just went upstairs, and they had already planned to kill them at that point. And they because the mom had no feeling about it, was just really dismissive. He the older brother said he felt like they were gonna kill us. Like they were gonna kill us. Either we had to leave or we had to kill them. Because their lives had been threatened many times anyway by their dad. And so he just felt like they were at their wits' end. And so he went upstairs, ran and told his brother, now is the time. We have to do this now. And so they got the shotguns or whatever. Yeah, shotguns. Came back down. Both of them shot, one parent at the same time. Mom was still going, and the older brother went over and shot her again. And so they left and went to the movies and got movie tickets. They didn't really go. They shot movie tickets as an alibi. Came back and pretended that someone else had shot them. Yeah. So they get, all this stuff happens. They go to trial. They admit, they're like, "Yeah, we did kill them." And they're like, "Why? Why? Was it for the money?" And it was like, no. They didn't want to talk about it, but their defense was like, "You have to. You have to talk about this." So they told their story. And they're like, "We've been abused most of our life." And they had family members who came to testify, and all of them, at least everyone did admit that the dad was hella abusive. He was definitely hitting the kids. He had a very particular old country way of handling them. And then one of their cousin came on the stand and was like, yeah, corroborated the child molesting, because she was like, when they were 8, one of the brothers were at a family function at night. He came down and he told her, was like, "Daddy keeps touching my penis." And the girl was like, she was like, "What the fuck?" So she went and got their mom and was like, "Hey, this is what's happening." And the mom was like, didn't say anything, just took him upstairs and never brought it up ever again. So the cousin was like, "Oh, he was why would a child lie about that? Why would a mom cover it up?" It was that definitely did happen. So this is the 80s, mind you, late 80s, early 90s, where people didn't believe men were being sexually abused.
Right.
This is literally before the whole Oprah episode. Remember that Oprah episode where they put it on? I remember it. It was her entire audience were men who had been victimized. And so it was trying to get the public to understand men are sexually abused. especially when they're like basically when they're children, right? So but this was before that.
Right.
So there's a mistrial.
Wow.
All the men voted that they were guilty of first-degree murder, and all of the women voted that it was manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
And because the women were like had more empathy because they're like they could understand being like abuse, and all the men could not grapple with the fact that
no, that's not true.
Yeah, it was like
No lying.
nope, could not convince them. Mistrial. They go to a second trial. The judge is so pissed that there was no verdict that he decides that none of the testimony about the sexual abuse can be in the case.
Oh wow.
And because of that, the jury is like, all right, well, this is an easy conviction and it's murder one. And so they went to they're in jail right now for life.
Wow.
And for most of that time, they were separated. They had to petition to even be put in the same jail. And that was like most recently, like 10 years ago. And people were like, you know, it was kind of dismissed. And then most recently it got back in the media, like social media. And younger people were looking at the case and they're like, what the fuck? Like, they're like, you know, people are like, of course, like they did it. Like they're not saying that it's not wrong that they killed their parents, but there's a reasoning behind the killing, which does not like first degree murder doesn't make sense. It's like manslaughter or even second degree murder makes more sense. And that being said, they probably have served their time and they should be able to get out. So people are petitioning for them to get out. So that's what it was about. It was like them. And then the brothers are like, apparently they're thriving. They like went to college. They finished college in prison. The older brother, he does sexual abuse awareness stuff. Like he does all activism in prison about it. And they talk about it and they're like, they're super regretful about it. They're like, especially the older one, he's like, I shouldn't have, like, I wanted to protect my brother, but, like, was this the right way? Like, no. Like, we shouldn't have done this, but, like, this is what we thought was our only path at that time. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. For me personally, if you are a child abuser, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, your abuser should be able to kill you, and they shouldn't be charged with anything, in my opinion. I don't care. There's a lot of people who die for no reason, for no good reason all the time. And I'm like, that's a good reason to kill somebody. In my opinion. Especially if it's the victim who did it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't care. Especially the mom knew this entire fucking time, that whole time, and did nothing. I'm like, I don't feel bad that they died. And from the testimony from other people, Dad was an asshole. He wasn't a good person in general. He wasn't even redeemable. It wasn't like, oh, he was doing that alone. He was like nice to other people. No. He wasn't a good person. I was like, yeah, I don't feel bad. And yeah, I would be fine if they were released from prison. Because otherwise they were like not violent people. It was just this incident. And I was like, it's kind of understandable. Yeah. But that was crazy. And it was so sad too, because when they were on the stand, they like recounted what would happen, and I was like, bro, that is so fucked up. They were 6 and 8. Between 6 and 8 when they started. And then the older brother, also, he admitted on the stand, he was like, I molested my younger brother. He was like, after it happened, he's like, I did exactly the same thing to my brother.
Do you think that's what you're supposed to do when you're like trying to make sense of like what's happening to you?
Yep. Yeah. And he apologized. On the stand, he was like, I'm so sorry. And the younger brother, like, was sitting listening, he was losing it. Like, losing it. And he was like, but he's like, I really, he's like, he never apologized at that, he's like, I never held anything against him, but he was like, that was the first time he had apologized to me, and it was like, fucked. It was like, fucked. Fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, it's like the justice system is corrupt. Like, even their lawyers was like, telling the judge, like, you cannot let your biases infiltrate this court case, like, because you don't agree that, like, child molestation is, like, a real thing, or like a thing that really damages people. Like, you can't like say that this evidence can't be admitted. And he was like, nope, it's not going to be admitted. During this time too, to note is that right before this, Rodney King happened. So that was a not guilty. So people were like, fuck the justice system. It don't work. Then this hung jury happened, which was like, what's going on? Then right after that, OJ happened.
That's right.
And then they were like, oh yeah, again, the justice system doesn't work, because clearly he killed them. Like, that's what everybody thinks, right? I don't know. Maybe, probably so. It's likely. But we don't know for sure. And then so people are like, yeah, we don't trust it. So, like,
I feel like
it's like
there should
justice.
There should
sensitive things like this.
Yeah.
Sex crimes, essentially.
And stuff like that. And like, there should be a special class of judges.
Judges.
Like, you need to have like a psychology degree.
Yes.
Of some sort in order to be able to judge these kinds of cases.
Yes.
Properly.
Even the jury. I'm like, I don't,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't make any sense for people who don't understand this to be making decisions for people. But it's already fucked up because it's supposed to be people of your peers. It's never your peers. It's just people that they deem that are worthy to be on the jury selection. Because I'm like, if it's your peers, then it would be people from literally from your community.
Yeah.
Who are like the same education level as you, the same kind of background. I'm like, the people on the jury, various walks of life, various like ethnicities, various like experiences. And I'm like, that's not your peers.
No.
That's not your peers. Sometimes these jury selections too will be in different counties or states or
Yeah,
you know, like,
right, depending on like if like, oh, this court is backed up, so we have to move you to this other court. That's a different.
it might be more conservative people in this district. You know, like there's a lot of things that don't, like, it is fucked up. So yeah, that's what happened. It was tragic, and these guys are. I don't think they should be in jail, but that's my you know.
Good on them for making the best of their time.
Yeah, you know, they did productive things in prison. Yeah, they were productive. So I was like, I think, like the younger brother is like a really good artist or something. Like, yeah, I was like, at least they're, you know, doing something with their time and not just like lifting weights and being
Right.
a nuisance. We'll see if they ever get out.